Hi, welcome to In a Pickle Knitting. My name is Donna and today is Vlogtober 14th, so October 14th, 2018. Anyone who's come back after seeing any of my other Vlogtobers, thank you. I appreciate you coming back. And anyone who hasn't visited before, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like the children's literature book and the craft that I'm going to show today. So it's a short vlog, just a book and a craft. So our book today is called Too Many Pumpkins by Linda White. And this is a very cute story about a lady, Rebecca Estelle, who lives alone, and she hates pumpkins because there was a time in her young life when the family was short on money and that was the only thing that they had to eat was pumpkins. It was pumpkin everything. And finally things got a little bit better and she vowed to never look at a pumpkin, touch a pumpkin, eat a pumpkin, do anything with pumpkins. And she never did. She always planted a garden every year, but never with pumpkins. Well, a little mishap happens when a pumpkin truck is driving along in front of her house. And let me show you that little picture so you can see it coming along while she is raking some leaves with her cat. And of course a pumpkin falls off the truck and it explodes at the edge of her yard. And I like the way they phrase this, splat. An enormous pumpkin tumbled off the truck and smashed into slimy orange smithereens all over the edge of her yard. And so they do refer to the slime inside as being smithereens in the story, and that's kind of a fun word for kids. Well, of course, that pumpkin the next spring does begin to grow, and she first decides to pull them all up and they come back, and then she decides, well, she's just going to ignore them. She's not looking at them, and so she doesn't even use her front door the entire spring and summer of the year. And finally in autumn she needs to go around front and rake the leaves from her black walnut tree. What does she see? A yard full of pumpkins they have taken over. And so she has to solve that problem. So I won't go into how she solves the problem, but it's very cute, and I do like the things that they talk about with pumpkins. Repeats, you know, a little bit of the life cycle there, and talks about the things that you can make with pumpkins. So it's a very cute book, Too Many Pumpkins by Linda White. So today our pumpkin, oh my gosh. So today our craft has a pumpkin on it, and I'm going to show you making a pillow top with a pumpkin with quilting techniques, and I will get it to the point that it's ready to be quilted. So if you'd like to see that, stay tuned, and I'll see you back again tomorrow, I hope. Bye-bye. Make the pumpkin square. You're going to want to cut 16 different shades of orange or whatever color you think you'd like in your pumpkin. And I made mine 2 3/4 inch square, but you could do it 3 inches, or it just depends how large or small you want your pillow to be. It could be really any size. Then I also, to begin with, need 4 white or background neutral colors for those corner pieces, and those are the same size, 2 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. To make the corner pieces, you're going to take a white square and one of your corner orange squares. Just for sake of simplicity, I'm going to say orange squares. It could be whatever color you want. And you're going to draw a diagonal line on the white one, and so put them right sides together, and sew a white one together with one of your orange squares. And you're going to do that for the 4 corner squares. After you sew that center seam, you're going to want to mark 1/4 inch away from the seam and trim away that excess, and then press it with the seam going towards the darker side. So if you see here, you'll see those 4 corner pieces are in place along with now our 14 other squares. You will then want to take the squares for your top row and stitch them together. All seams are 1/4 inch, and press them. Do the second row the same way, the third row the same way, and that final 4th row the same way. You now have 4 strips. You're going to sew those strips together. First the top one, to the second one, and you'll want to, of course, match up your seams. And then do the second to the third and the third to the fourth, and you will have all of your pumpkin made. So we need to do the stem and the squares that will be above in the line with the stem. So my stem piece in a green color is, or you could do brown, whatever you want to do. Mine is a mottled green and yellow color, which looks something like a pumpkin shade before they turn orange. That's a 2 3/4 inch square, but I've also cut a 2-inch square and a 1.5 inch square, drawn diagonal lines on both of the background or neutral color squares, and we're going to line up one in each corner of opposing corners of that green square as shown in the picture, and stitch along those lines. After stitching, you'll want to trim those seams to 1/4 inch and press them. And if you'll line up your squares, then you need 3 additional neutral or white squares that are the same size, 2 3/4 inches, and put your pumpkin stem in there the way you'd like it, and stitch all of those squares together and stitch it to your top. So now you can see your pumpkin with a stem. If you would like to apply borders to the side, I don't measure these by length typically. I just measure the width to be the same, the 2 3/4 inches, and then I just sew them onto each side and trim them if needed from the ends. And then we're also going to cut one to go across the bottom and stitch it in place. If you would like to put some stashing along the sides, mine, I trimmed the white borders except for the top where the stem is. I trimmed those to 2 inches wide, and then I cut this sashing to 2 inches wide. So I'm going to sew a strip to the bottom and to the top, and then attach both side seams and trim those, and you will have a quilt square. It's now ready to be quilted. If you want to make a table runner, you could make 3 of these. I'm going to make mine into a pillow. I will quilt it first and then turn it into the front side of a pillow. So that's our pumpkin quilt square for today. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.